Hey, you guys. How's things? I hope you're all doing good. Okay, so I have pulled out what I think is everything I want to work with. I just I just wanted to a little bit of do a little bit of stuff on these tags rather than just leaving them plain. I thought it would be fun to just do a little bit of stamping on them, a little bit of inking, maybe add some flowers and stuff like that. So I pulled those out. Let me grab some stamps, some postage stamps. So I don't want to completely overwhelm them, but I would like to sort of tone them down, sort of grunge them up a little bit. I don't know if I really want to add a lot of color, but just a little bit of grunge, you know what I mean? Before I start stitching on them and that kind of thing. So what I like to do is just sort of spread out. Well, these all came from the same one, so I like to kind of mix them up. Just spread out a few kind of in the orientation that I want to use them in. So these are going to basically be all like journaling cards that I can just tuck into pockets. Okay, so got a little assortment there. So I'm going to do all of these tags, and then I also have these larger pieces that I've cut into larger pieces. Same thing. It's just like old scrapbook paper, the covers from some scrapbook paper packs, any that were patterned papers, where I felt like you could write on the back of it. I did the collaging on the front. So some of them are those pages that have all of the like the writing on them and things like that I don't necessarily love. So I just kind of covered that up just with book pages and ledger and handwriting and that kind of stuff. So very simple collaging. So I'm not going to do that with you guys, but I thought we could just do some stuff on these. Honestly, I forget a lot of the stuff that I have. I know you guys probably do that too, but I forget about things. So anyway, so I have actually spent the last couple days getting my what together to do this, because I kind of have a certain look that I want to achieve. Anyway, so I just cut these all sort of random, and I've got too much stuff on my desk now. So I've got this sort of like bucket of stamps. Just all these different, a lot of like postal stamps, office, old wooden office stamps. I had these in like a carousel, one of those metal, actually two of those metal carousels, but I just don't have room on my desk for them. So I just sort of plopped them all into this tub. It's this metal. It actually came from a dentist's office. It's an old metal tray. It has a lid too. It's really cool, like enameled. Anyway, so I just want to do a little bit of stamping, maybe some stencils, and some inking. I guess I'm sort of saying the same thing over and over here, but looking for, and then also I've got the label stamps too. So I want to add some of those, maybe stamp some of those on separate paper, and then I don't know. Anyway, so it just kind of takes me a little bit to sort of get going when I'm working like this. And I do want to have some variety. Some of these ink pads, let me find just like a scrap paper so I can see how my ink is doing. A lot of these are getting dried up. And that's okay. I was thinking some of these that are kind of dried up, I could just use them to sort of grunge these a little bit. This is potting soil, archival potting soil. I don't think I have a re-inker for this one. Yeah, just trying to like knock down the brightness a little bit. Let's see if I can find another. See if I can find a ink pad that's not dried up. I just haven't done this for so long. I haven't even pulled out any stamps. I've got a bunch of these that are the like, you know, you don't have to ink them. And I know somebody's going to ask, where did I get these? And the answer is all over the place. I've just been sort of collecting these old stamps for quite a while. So these are some wooden stamp. They have rubber, but the rubber is really hard. And I've soaked these in, what you call it, quite a few times, and they just, I don't know, they're just so old that I think it's kind of beyond help. So I think this pad is pretty juicy. This is just it was just like an empty ink pad that I bought, and I just add different inks to it. And I don't even know what colors I use, but it's just like, I want it to be really wet so I can use it with these pads or with these stamps. And because it's like really juicy, you know, because they're so stiff, I have to use a lot of ink on them just to get it to stamp. And then I like to do it on top of a piece of foam. Kind of some of them hanging off the edge. You dig down. Damaged in handling in the Postal Service. This is one of my favorites. So some of those little stamps, I guess I only use the number 3. This is this bucket of stamps is pretty dusty. There's quite a bit of cat hair in here too. Let's see. What else is in here? I love the number 5. 5 is like my lucky number, I think. I suppose I should be wiping these off after I use them. Let's do a couple of stencils. So for the stencils, I like to use one of these little blending brushes. I'm just wiping the dust off of it first. So again, this pad is pretty juicy. There we go. Yeah. Nice and can kind of rub it, but I don't like to too much because I don't want it to go under the edges. And then of course I've got these little guys. These little stencils that would have been used to number pages in like a ledger book. I want to do a number pretty much on each one. So I guess the whole point is that I like to pull out a bunch of them and work on them sort of all at the same time. Just feels like it moves quicker. I want to do this 1/2. See how juicy that is. There we go. Okay, so I basically have either a stencil or a stamp on each one. I also have all of these like larger, these are like paper stencils that I picked up somewhere. I can't remember. I think they were in one of the boxes of books. I just want to try one of these. Let's see how they look. It's kind of a cool font. I like that font. It's kind of a big stencil. I'm going to use a little bit bigger brush. A little darker. Yeah. That looks good. Okay, so those will be fun to play. I have never even used any of these. I have there's another font too. These are brand new. It's this kind of like, what's it called? It says modern script. I don't know. Modern script, letters and numbers. This is Frontier. Anyway, so those are fun. Okay, so these are basically dry. I want to get a little bit more kind of like grunge on them, but I'd also like to add just a little bit of something pretty, you know, maybe some, I just have way too much stuff on my desk here, you guys. So I cut out a bunch of these mushrooms, but they're really, I don't know, they're kind of thick because I glued the paper that I printed them on onto cardstock. But I think they'll work anyways. Just pull out a couple of mushrooms. So basically what I do is I will do all of the tags kind of like this. So like if I'm working on that whole group, so I'll do all of them with a little bit of stamping and sort of like switch up what stamps I'll use on the group that I have on my desk, right? So that they don't all have the same, you know, stuff on them. And then I'll go back and add some kind of something pretty, you know. These are from that Florilegium book. I just love that book. Let's see. Oh, and then there's these ones that I cut out of some wallpaper. Yeah, these. Let's see. I'll just use that little piece. Anyway, and then that little blue flower. Okay. Where's my... Oh, here it is. Just looking for my glue. Okay. Actually, some of these, I think I'm just going to use the glue stick. Normally, I wouldn't have all of these sort of spread out all over my desk while I'm doing this. And this glue stick, oh, look at how that's smeared. I should have let these dry. These glue sticks work really well for this. I'm not concerned about that lifting at all. Some of these, like this was wallpaper. I think I'm going to see if this isn't clogged. The art glitter glue. I'm going to try not to smear my ink. I think that must be mostly distress ink on that pad. Let's see. Since these are so thick, I'm gonna use the art glitter glue for like thinner papers, like that book paper. Whoops. I put glue on the wrong side. For that book paper, the glue stick is fine. It'll hold. Let's do another mushroom. Toadstool, mushroom, whatever you call it. Fungi. So I'm kind of trying to envision somebody adding to this later on down the road, right? Like, you know, if somebody's got this in their journal and they want to add like a photo, or they want to do some more like collaging, they want to add some ephemera to it, or something like that. So that's kind of why I like to add things off center rather than, obviously for composition reasons, I think it looks better anyway, but the idea is that maybe somebody could add to this. So that's what I try to keep in mind also. This is pretty papery on the back. I think the glue stick is going to be fine. This is from some wallpaper. It's this really beautiful vintage wallpaper. It's kind of like, here, let me show you. It's this like border, you know. Anyway. So, been watching the news this morning. I had a headache this morning, and I wanted to try to get this video up earlier, but I had a headache. Anyway, the headache's gone. But I've been watching about Tiger Woods this morning. Hope he's okay. Sending positive vibes. Tons of baby wipes. And I'll just add a little flour on this one. Whoops. See, I smeared the W. That ink pad is very juicy. Okay. I've got this. Now I do need to let these kind of dry. And I might go back and add some postage stamps on those too. So I have all of these stickers. I actually bought 2 of this book. And I was thinking about adding some of these to some of the tags. But I think what I'll do is just add some of these onto the pages in those journals. Just here and there, you know, kind of randomly. Just add some stickers onto the pages. I don't usually use stickers that much, so I'm not sure why I was like so excited to buy this, but I don't know. I just like the images. So I don't know. Maybe I could add some pages from this into the journals. Huh, that's a good idea. Since I haven't bound them yet, maybe I'll do that. I'll actually bind some of these pages into the journals, because when the sticker part is gone, I shouldn't say because, I should say although, when all of the sticker is gone, it's that slick paper. So I don't know, but that might be kind of nice to have in the journal to use it as like a palette or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know. I might use some of these on some of those other tags and pockets and stuff, but not sure. Okay, so I'm going to trim these edges off. wherever anything is sticking out. Okay. Let's see, do I want to add... Do I want to add a postage stamp to any of these? Yeah, let's add a couple postage stamps here and there. I love orange. Orange is probably my favorite color to work with for some reason. I don't know. But what's funny is I don't really like blue that much. But blue is a really nice complementary color to orange. So, okay, one more stamp. I don't know. Is this boring, you guys? Is this super boring? You know what I think I might do? Well, I think I'm going to stamp some labels onto some like textured paper so that they kind of look a little bit grungy, you know? This is like just like some drawing paper, but it's got a really nice texture. So if I stamp onto this, it's gonna, hopefully, it should give me some texture, you know, make it, because the ink won't hit all of it, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Let's use, I've got a few different reds that I like. Also this blue, that Danube blue is really pretty. Somebody sent me this red geranium, and I think I tried it. Yeah, it doesn't really look the same as the lid to me, but I don't know. Let's do a couple different sizes. I should clean these. I never clean my stamps. And since I hardly ever use clear stamps, I've just been leaving my label stamps on the blocks. Since I never use other like clear stamps really, I never need them. Trying not to press too hard because I do want to get a little bit of like missing on the with the ink. Okay, so that's that red geranium. This blazing red is awesome. And I do have a re-inker for this one, so. This is the Stays On blazing red. See, it's a little bit more of a pinky kind of red. This is one of the the first set of label stamps that I bought from Signet stamps. And I had them mounted on, you know, handled, wooden handled stamps. They're not clear stamps. They're like a red rubber. And then later it kind of evolved into a clear stamp that they sell. I'll leave a link to clear stamp or to Signet stamps in the description in case anybody has not seen those and you're interested in some label stamps. Yeah, see, I like that, how that kind of came out kind of grungy looking, you know? I've got a purple too. I think this one's purple. Let me see. Yeah, it's really a vivid purple. Yeah, see how you can kind of see the texture? I like that. I better wipe this off. Let me do one more purple. I like the color of this paper too. It's not so bright. What's the other red that I have? Oh, it's this Morocco red. Memento Morocco red. Let me do one of that just to see. Oh, you know what? Some of these, like I noticed that one really bleeds a lot. See how you can't, like you miss that detail of that inside frame? It sort of bleeds out with this ink. Don't know why. Don't know why it does that. Anyway, I'm sure one of you guys know. Probably just has to do with the type of ink that it is. I don't know. But I remember that it does that on any paper too. And this one is the this is actually what inspired me to ask Bob at Signet Stamps to make that set was this one that came. This is from a Tim Holtz set, and I just love it. And it is actually kind of like distressed. It's got these little like pits that are kind of missing in the rubber, so it actually sort of misses on its own. You know, typical Tim Holtz sort of style. Anyway, so I want to cut some of these out. So I could stamp these obviously right onto the tags, but I want you to be able to write on them. So I think I'm gonna ink them up with just a little bit. I do have some like actual Denison labels, but I'm hoarding them. I've used quite a few of them, but I actually like to use them in journals, like on pages and stuff, or to just add in like in pockets and stuff, to just sort of give people something, give people a piece of something special. I think they're special anyway. I love the little boxes that they come in too. All right, I want to use one of these purple ones too. Okay. I know watching me fussy cut probably isn't the most exciting. I do want to ink these though. I like this thick paper too to use as, for labels. Just adds a little bit more texture, I think, on the tags. Okay. Just pulling out the ones that I think, so I think I'm sort of leaning towards the ones that I didn't put a stamp on, that I want to add a label to. And since this paper is a little bit thicker, I'm going to use the, oh my gosh, I'm going to use the art glitter glue. I stopped using my little tiny bottles that I used to put this glue in, because for some reason, I don't know, maybe I just squeeze it too hard or something, but it the glue started like squishing out the side of the cap. So, and then I tried a different one and it still did the same thing. So anyway, so then I said, okay, well, I'm just going to use the big bottle. Sometimes this glue can be hard to find in the big, oh, how many ounces is this? This is 16 ounces can be kind of hard to find in that size, at least on Amazon. Okay, let's put the purple one on this one. Okay. Do I want to put that one on something? Yeah. Okay. So those are coming along. Sip of coffee. All right, now I need to decide if I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna cut the corners on pretty much all of these. So I don't worry a whole lot about whether or not those are completely even. Basically what I like to do is I just hold my scissors at an angle and then I flip it and just try to match the angle, basically. Like, I don't know. I've just gotten pretty good at eyeballing that after cutting the corners on probably 2,000 tags or more. I doubt if anybody's gonna come back and measure it and make sure that they're exactly the same. As long as they look pretty much the same, I'm happy with it. I'm all about eyeballing stuff, right? I see people cutting those, cut that corner, and then they take that little corner and they put it on here, and then they, you know, match it up, which is fine. I mean, you know, if that's what you do, that's what you do, but it's too much work for me. So that one is kind of off a little bit, so I'm just gonna, there we go. So this one, I'm not gonna cut the corners on it. I'm gonna leave it like that. Oh my gosh, all this stuff is so dusty. I have not done anything lately in here. Okay. But I am going to round the corners on it with the 1/2 inch side and then the 1/4 inch side on the rest of them. So this you can do a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch rounded corner. Okay. And then I'm just going to do a hole on these. Sometimes, I mean a round hole. Sometimes I'll do this like slotted punch or even the Oh my gosh. So dusty. Or even this punch, which does that like hanging tag shape. I don't really use this that much because it's such a large punch, you know. I mean, it's okay like on a larger tag, but I don't know. It's so big. I don't know. Anyway. But my favorite is just to use my swing line hole punch, which I think is a 1/4 inch. And I did that with a Sharpie, so I know where the hole is. Anyway, so punch some holes. And then I'm going to do a little bit more inking on these too. But I think I'm going to wait until I get this part done. I'm not going to punch that one. Okay, and then I like to do reinforcements. And lately what I've been doing is I'll just take like a whole pack of these, since, you know, these are pretty cheap. Take like a whole pack of them and just using a brush and all these different kind of grungy colors of ink. This one is espresso truffle. Just kind of ink these a little bit just to knock down that white. And I'll use different colors. So this is Memento Rich Cocoa. And let's see, what's this one? Stays on Timber Brown. This one's kind of purpley. Whoops, I'm doing it on the back. I wasn't even inking the stickers. Okay, so just kind of ink those a little bit. Then I've been using these little like text. These are dictionary definitions. And then just stamping that over the top. I want to find a darker, oh, where's my black? Let's ink that up. And, well, hold on. There. Just add a little bit of text to those little reinforcers. I wanted to try, where's that other, Oh, here it is. I wanted to try this one and see how it looks. Oh, that must be so you can stick it onto something, huh? That's pretty cool. Somebody sent me this. Oh, I see. It's the backing so you can put it onto a block. Okay, I got it. I just want to try this and see how it, see if it even shows up on these reinforcers. Oh yeah, that looks cool. I like that. Cool. Okay, so that'll be a project to just kind of sit here and make up a bunch of reinforcers too. Now that I'm thinking about it, I have a bunch of other stamps that I'd like to try on those. So this is, these are alcohol wipes. They did have them at Costco a couple months ago. So I bought a couple boxes of them. And that'll come off of my desk eventually. I'm not extremely worried about it. This desk is pretty durable. Anyway, so those are my little reinforcers. I really like that stitching, or that measuring tape. It's cool. So I'm going to put one on the front and the back just for fun. I have this like lined stamp, and I may or may not go back and stamp the backs of these. I kind of don't think I will, but who knows. Oh my gosh, I really love this measuring tape stamp. That's so cool. I have some other script, like hand script too, that might look kind of neat. See, it looks so cool. Let's do some text. So each one of these little processes are something that I would just do all of. Like I would get all my tags to this point, and then I'll sit down and add all the reinforcers to them all at once, you know. I also have a bunch of old Dennison reinforcers that you have to use, you know, they have adhesive on the back that you have to wet. And so when I use those, obviously I don't ink them and stamp them and stuff, but I do like to ink them after I've applied them. Anyway, I'll just use a damp baby wipe and kind of dampen the paper and then put the reinforcer on. And that little bit of dampness is enough to stick those down. Let me see. I'll show you what I'm talking about in case you have no idea what I'm saying. Like these reinforcers. And I love these because they're kind of textured too. They're like fabric, you know, they're like almost like canvas kind of. Anyway, but they have glue on the back. And so I'll just take my baby wipe and kind of dampen that and then stick it on. And that is usually enough to stick that glue on pretty permanent. And then when the baby wipe dries out, I'll just spray it with water, just a little bit of water. Anyway, so that's that. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of inking on these. Put some stuff away. Okay. Where's my... I don't know if this is vintage photo or not. I think this is vintage photo. I'm not sure. Anyway, I want to kind of grunge the tag itself too, not just the edges. You know? Good enough. I'm not going to worry about the back. I'm just going to leave the back. So if I had used the Denizen reinforcers, I would be kind of inking those too. Making sure that I sort of just knock down that white. Ooh, that got a little dark. If you get a little too much, you can always just kind of knock it back with the baby wipe. You can still see that number 3 on there, but it's sort of faded out. All right. And sometimes I'll even just take a baby wipe, dab it into the ink, and then sort of just do like that in different directions and stuff, you know. Or another cool thing to do is to use a brayer and like some distress paint or distress inks or something like that, and brayer some ink or paint over the top of them too. Whoops, I forgot to do this one. I sort of like to do one corner a little bit more inky than the rest, just because it kind of replicates like where it would naturally, like say it was just handled a lot over a couple decades, you know, maybe it would have had a tendency to get a little bit grungier right there on that one corner, you know. Kind of replicating dirty hands, I guess. I don't know. Okay, replicating what dirty hands would do over the years. Okay, and then I'm just going to do some stitching around the edges of those. I did pull the sewing machine out. The last sewing machine I have that actually is working. Cross my fingers. Please don't give me a hard time. This machine gives me more headaches, I tell you. Okay, I'm just going to do a straight stitch for now, just to be sure that it's on its best behavior. This is the Singer Heavy Duty machine. I bought this a few years ago, and honestly, I've not used it a ton because I've had it give me troubles. So I'm trying to be super nice to it though, so that it'll keep working for me. The Brother machine, the newer Brother machine that I have, that you guys have seen me use quite a bit, that's really quiet on video too. I was doing my own little bit of maintenance on it, trying to clean it out, and we got in a big fight. And I wound up putting all the pieces in a Ziploc bag and put it in the closet. And so it's going to go to the shop. Anyway, okay, let's do a zigzag on here. Let's try it. Adjust my width, my length. Oh, I've got it really wide. Hold on. Lift your needle before you change your stitch, guys. This machine is really loud too. Plus, it's also operated with a foot pedal, and the Brother had a push button, and I sort of liked that better. What I like better about this machine is that the reverse button here, it reverses a lot easier to use at a higher speed on this machine than it is on the Brother. So I like that because I like to do like grungy stitching, kind of messy stitching. And this is much easier to reverse your stitch and kind of go back and forth. Like if you want to go back and forth over the same area in different directions or whatever a bunch of times, this machine is much better for that. The other machine, the Brother one that I have, it only goes in reverse like one stitch at a time, very slowly, when you're using the push button. It goes faster if you use the foot pedal, but I liked using the push button so I could have my feet up on a stool under my desk and stuff. But anyway, so that's that. I'm gonna stitch around all of them, and then I think I'm just gonna do just white cotton string as a topper, and I think I'll actually ink this a little bit before I use it. I should use a piece of paper because there we go. So just get some ink on my pad and just pull the string through. In case anybody asks, is curious, the inking tool my son made quite a while ago, a couple years ago now, and he refuses to make anymore. So that's that. He made a bunch, and I did sell them to a few people, but he, like, I don't know, he just doesn't want to make anymore. It's a thing where every once in a while I mention it to him, and then he's like, yeah, my lathe is just buried, and all these excuses. He doesn't have any idea what's really important. Anyway, so I could add all kinds of different things to the, as a little topper on these, but I just like the string. I think it looks nice. I could add like a little safety pin or a bulb pin or a little charm or something like that. The other thing I thought I'd like to do with these is add a photo or something, kind of like as a little tuck spot on the tag too. So some of these I might make. I've got all of these photos that I've printed off. I've scanned and printed. And I thought it might look kind of neat to just take one of those. Like on these bigger ones that I cut to use as pockets in the journals, and just stitch a little image like into the corner, so it would have another little tuck spot. You know what I'm saying? Or like one of these little tiny postcards or something, Louise sent me these from France. Or one of these little words or something. Just something, little tiny thing to use as a tuck spot on some of these larger pocket size pieces. So anyway, and then do the labels and stuff too, but to add a little tuck spot. And I guess I could do that with those mushrooms too, because that was kind of my intention when I glued those on to the cardstock, was to use them as tuck spots, like on the corner of a tag. So like it would attach, I'll turn it over so you can see. So like it would attach like at the bottom and the side, and then you could tuck something in. You could tuck something in behind that. But anyway, this probably isn't the best. I was thinking more of like a chunkier one, so I could just stitch it on the side and the bottom, and then it would be like a little tuck spot. So anyway, so that was my thinking. But okay, so that's it. An hour and 8 minutes, 10 minutes probably before I get done wrapping up. But I'm just going to finish. Oh, whoops, I forgot to stitch these before I added the string, but you get the idea. So I'm going to just keep working on the rest of my stack and do the pockets and stuff. And then, yeah. And then once I get to where I'm going to machine stitch all of these, then I'm going to pull out these are the ones that I think I want to make into little booklets, but I want to do some stitching around the edges first. And this is kind of like all the stuff that I want to do some stitching on. So I've got it all in this basket, and then all of these will get added to that. And then I'll just sit here and go to town and try not to break my sewing machine. It'll probably take me a few hours to do all that sewing, but it'll be fun. So anyway, if anybody has questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I've been trying to make sure that I read all of the comments. I have not been very good about responding, because usually I'm reading comments on my phone, and after a while it just gets like too much to reply to everything on my phone. But so I'm sorry if I haven't been replying, but I have been reading all your comments and I do appreciate them. I love you guys, and I really do. Anyway, but I'll leave my email address in the comments also in case you have a question that you really, really want me to answer. So, and then I'll promise I'll get back. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, guys, love you. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye for now.